In this part, I would like to represent you the type of draws in chess. There are 6 different type of draws. A draw is worth a half point to each player, while a victory is worth 1 point to the victor and none to the playing losing the game. The first type of draw I'm going to show you is when there is a lack of mating material. For example, if all the pieces get captured and only kings left is drawn due to insufficient material. The two players can agree to end a game in a draw at any time, regardless of the position on the board or how many moves have been made. This is also called two kings draw. Also, if there is only a single bishop or a single knight, the result is again a draw. Due to the fact that we need at least one rook to get a checkmate, or even a pawn will be sufficient since it might promote in the end. A chess game could be drawn if each player has made 50 moves without the movement of any pawn and without any capture. This type of draw often occurs when one side has only the king and the other more pieces to checkmate. So d1 with more pieces has 50 moves time to win the game. For instance, as we can see in this position, black has a huge advantage to win and white has the chance to survive for 50 moves for a draw. Perpetual check is when one side can check the opponent infinity times in a row and the other has no chance to escape. For example, here white can check the black queen all the time. Knight f7 check, king g8, knight h6 check, king h8, and black has no other way to get out of check, so white can claim the game is drawn. Because white doesn't have the chance to win the game due to the material, it's fine to have a draw in this game. Again here white has a huge advantage and black is fine if he can draw it. Queen c5 check, king h2 only move, queen f4 check. Here if white plays queen g1, black can check again. King h2, queen f4. Here if g3, we have perpetual check again, and the game is drawn, pity for white. Stalemate is a situation in chess where the players whose turn it is to move is not in check and that player has no other legal moves. It's a type of draw which survives the player that is losing the game. Let's see how it works with the examples. In this first example, white has queen and king and black has only the king. It's actually queen's mate position that white can easily do. However, white plays the worst move here, queen g6. Okay, let's see why it is the worst move. It's black turn and black has only the king but has nowhere to go. As you can see, queen covers all the squares around him. Black is not in check. What do we know? In order to end a chess game, you have to give a check. It means black has no legal move and it is his turn. So this is an example of stalemate. Pity for white because he was about to win and black congratulates the draw in a lost position. The second example I'm going to show you is also a typical one. You can mate your opponent with only one rook. White has theoretically winning position. Nevertheless, in chess game anything can happen. If white plays here rook b7, The king cannot take the rook because white king defends it here. Due to the fact that rook controls the other squares, black king cannot move and no check, no other piece to play, and again stalemate. Here we have our third example. In this position, white grabs the pawn unconsciously. As we can see, black has no place to go because of queen and king. Also, the black pawn cannot play here. It cannot take the pawn. So this is also a stalemate. So our fourth example, black is pawn up here. However, white has a passed pawn and it is about to reach the other side, the queen. Black has to get rid of it and plays the only move, bishop c4 check. Queen f2, also the only move. Black has to take, otherwise white wins easily. Now, white has the move now. Even though white has 4 pieces, none of them can play, and no check again, it is stalemate. In our last example regarding stalemate, we will see a great theme of chess. White to move here. Black has the winning position because of queen against rook. Queen usually wins easily against rook. King and other pawn cannot move, as we can see here. Let's imagine here what would happen if white would not have this rook too. It would be a stalemate. Let's try to get rid of this rook. Queen b8. White says, take my rook. Black cannot take it. If he takes it, it's stalemate again. White to move and nothing to play. Black gets his king out of check. White tries the same. Queen b7. Here, take my rook. Queen a6. White can check again. Owing the fact that he cannot take the rook. Very funny, white can sacrifice the rook constantly. For example, queen a5, rook, again rook sacrifice here. And this theme is called crazy rook, as we can see here. It's crazy. Be aware of stalemate because it can ruin your victory, and it could also be a last stop for the player that is about to lose. The next type of draw I'm going to show you is draw due to repetition. If the exact same position on the board occurs 3 times, then either player can claim a draw by threefold repetition. The game doesn't end in a draw automatically, so you can carry on if you want to, but if either player claims the draw, then the game ends immediately even if the other player wants to carry on. The important thing here is the same 3 positions should not be in a row. One position could be in move 10 and the other in move 15 and the last in move 25, but it must be the same position like a photo. The example game is between former world champions Fischer against Petrosyan. Fischer has too many pawn weaknesses, as we can see here. That's why draw is a good result for him in this position. Please remember this position because it's going to occur twice more in the game. Petrosyan plays queen e5, threatening the rook. However, Fischer plays queen h5. Black cannot take the rook because queen f7 check, king h8 only move, Queen f8, King h7, and here we can see that type of draw, which is perpetual check. So that's the turn. And here black has to play Queen f6 and Queen e2. Here we can see the position occurred again. This is the second time. And Rook e5, Queen d3, defending the pawn twice. Rook d5 and Queen e2. And as you can see, the same position occurred 3 times and even not in a row. And at this moment, it is said that Petrosyan didn't understand what was going on when Fischer claimed the draw. It was the first time for Petrosyan this type of draw had been claimed against him. This is really interesting. Lastly, mutual agreement is one of the most common ways for a game to end in a draw. However, I would recommend beginner players to avoid offering draws because anything can happen in the game at this level.